Have you ever stopped to wonder what makes a message of hope really, truly powerful? I'm not just talking about something that's inspiring for a moment, but something that is structurally designed to change your perspective, especially when you feel like you've hit rock bottom. Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and deconstruct the anatomy of a message like that. We'll use a popular devotional as our case study and break down step by step what makes it so incredibly effective.
So, this is the big question we're tackling. How do you actually build a message of hope? We're going to look at the architecture of it all. The blueprint. We'll see exactly how it's designed to take someone from a place of total despair and guide them, piece by piece, towards feeling empowered again. All right, so first things first. The very first step, and honestly, this might be the most crucial one, isn't to just jump in with a solution. No, it's about making a real, deep, empathetic connection. To build that trust, the message has to meet you where you are, and it does that by validating your pain right from the start. And notice the language here. It's not vague at all, is it? It uses these specific, deeply relatable crises that so many people face. By mirroring these exact situations, the message creates this immediate, powerful bond. It's basically saying, hey, I see you. I get what you're going through. Okay, and this is where it gets really smart. The message personifies that internal conflict we all have. It takes that quiet, nagging doubt in the back of your head, and it gives it a voice. This makes that internal struggle feel seen, feel understood. And by externalizing it, well, that's the first step to actually being able to confront it. So once that connection is solid, the message uses this incredibly powerful rhetorical tool, strategic reframing. This is where the magic really starts to happen. See, it doesn't deny that the problem is real. Instead, it completely changes the problem's job. And boom, this sentence right here, this is the pivot. The word trial gets completely reframed. It goes from being a sign of abandonment to a platform for demonstration. All of a sudden, the problem you're facing is presented as the necessary stage for the solution to appear. That is a fundamental and really powerful shift in perspective. Now, after reframing the problem, you can't just leave people hanging there. You have to build a new foundation for them to stand on. And the way this message does it is by anchoring this new perspective to a really authoritative source. This verse is the cornerstone. The entire argument is built right on top of this single passage. And that key phrase, exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think, that's deliberately chosen to stretch your idea of what's even possible, to push you way beyond the limits of your current crisis. But here's the kicker. The power isn't just in the words, it's in the context. The source material makes this point so clearly. These words about limitless hope, they weren't written from a palace. They were written from a prison cell. That single historical detail gives the message this incredible weight and authority. It's hope that was forged in despair, not just dreamed up in comfort. So now that the core belief is in place, the message shifts gears. It moves into the evidence phase. It goes from just asserting a belief to actually proving it with these compelling, dramatic case studies from ancient stories. And for its evidence, the message picks two really famous stories from the book of Daniel. The first one is all about intense public pressure and this terrifying physical threat. The second one tackles political backstabbing and a sentence of what looks like certain death. So together, they cover different kinds of impossible situations. This line from the three men facing that fiery furnace is so critical. The message specifically highlights the "but if not" part. Why? Because it frames their faith not just in a happy ending, the deliverance, but in the character of the deliverer, no matter what happens. That's a subtle change, but it's an incredibly powerful one. So, the king looks into this raging furnace, and he sees something that makes no sense. An impossible number. He sees 4. And here's the big takeaway. The trail didn't just fail to destroy them, it actually became the very place where they had this divine encounter. The message uses this to argue that the thing that's meant to consume you can become the place where you meet your deliverance. As the story goes, the only thing the fire burned away were the ropes that were tying them up. This little table just helps map out all the players. And it's pretty straightforward. In both stories, you've got the heroes, who declare their faith. But what's really interesting is that the antagonists, the kings, they end up becoming witnesses, or even prophets, to the miracle. King Darius, the guy who condemns Daniel, is actually the one who says, "You're God, he will deliver you." And this is where all the evidence comes to a head. The message draws a direct line, a cause and effect relationship. Daniel was saved because he believed. It presents a clear formula to you, the viewer. Your belief is the active ingredient, the catalyst for your own deliverance. All right, we've made it to the final stage. The message has engaged your despair, it's reframed it, it's built a new belief, and it's given you proof. So what's left? Well, now it has to convert that passive belief into real, tangible action. And the call to action is a super clear three-part process. First, you declare it. Make it public by typing in the comments. That really solidifies your decision. Second, you join the community. Liking and subscribing gives you that social reinforcement. And third, you amplify the message by sharing it. This turns you from someone who just received a message into someone who carries it. But listen to the way it's framed. The call to action isn't just, hey, leave a comment for the algorithm. No, it's positioned as this powerful collective act, the building of a wall of faith. This gives your individual action a much greater sense of purpose and communal strength. So when you look at the whole thing, this message is just a masterclass in psychological and rhetorical structure. It skillfully guides a person from isolation to community, from despair to declaration, and it really leaves us with a final thought to chew on. Beyond this one example, what is it about a well-told story, one that's anchored in a core belief, that gives it the power to fundamentally change not just how we think, but maybe even our reality?